Okay. Yeah, yeah, response time is good.
Usually.
Mm.
I'm not afraid of morning.
It's going to be a bit dicey this morning. I have to play with it a bit. In case you're listening, we're going to have to play with it a bit.
Oh,
Now we've got music behind us. Hey, right. Let's we got a little unnecessary stuff, and then you've got Mr. Keith
yay, we're
and Beth. Yes,
here.
hey. Now let us explain because I went on the air late yesterday afternoon to apologise because we seemed to cut off yesterday without any explanation whatsoever. The explanation was that the computer which we've been using for the last 3 or 4 years, and one can't blame it, it got very tired, crashed. And this is our reserve computer, and it's not terribly good. It's there in case of situations like this. But here we are, and it seems to be working now. Say nice things to it.
Yeah, it's so great. Yay!
Better make it feel good.
Oh, it's
You lovely old thing, you.
it's absolutely freezing cold outside
Yes, it
as
is.
well.
Beware if you go out because we mean it is not.
All of a sudden it's cold. I'll check what degrees it is. It is. Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun.
It is
Da-dun,
10 degrees right now. It's meant to, a 30% chance of rain. Low day. 4 p.m. it's meant to rain. 20% chance of that.
well, that's
And
right.
then from 11 till 2, it's sunny, sunny, sunny. Who knew?
Well, we're waiting for the papers. We'll go back to us guys, and here we are. I'm Mr. Keith Hayes. This is Bethan Allardyce,
Yar.
and we are the terrible twosome that actually wake you up each morning.
Yeah.
And what we do is we wake you up at 7, and then we wake up at 9.
Or maybe 2:30.
Plus
Depends.
two, depending. Yeah. Well, the new boss is Ash. He doesn't get up until 11 o'clock. He understands what being an executive is all about.
Yeah, he's so far trying to do computer control. It's great fun. Good luck to him. All the best. Because if he moans at me, it's not my problem. God love him. Yeah, it's my husband, so I'm allowed to say that.
There we go. Right. Okay. Now, hopefully we get. We normally do the BBC papers, so let's not break the habit of a lifetime. And
2 hours ago, they're actually on time today.
hey,
Who knew someone could actually do their job?
So let's go through, as we normally do at the beginning of the day, the newspaper headlines, and we'll make our own comments as we go through. So the first one is, if it'll only come up,
A
is
variety of stories feature
right.
these.
The Daily Telegraph reports that Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, who will deliver the autumn statement and his plans for the economy in November, has said taxes are unlikely to come down while the government's debt remains high.
Great.
Speaking to LBC, which is the London radio station, Mr. Hunt said the cost of servicing the debt is high, higher than they thought, and he was delivers.
He delivered the spring budget in March,
and that makes tax cuts virtually impossible.
It means that I will have another, frankly, very difficult decisions
to make.
So if you just push there. That square there? Yep. There you go. And X up. No, X up.
There?
No, hang on. Click back on that.
Click back on that?
Yep. And then press that X right. Hang on. There. There we are. It makes it a bit bigger for you.
No, there. It's bigger for us. Let's just make sure that we're here ourselves. Beaming. Yes, there we are.
Woo-hoo.
There we are. Woo-hoo. Yes. I mean, it's better than any other television service you can get. I reminded people that in using this, that we are going to replicate Jack DeManio. You don't know who Jack DeManio is. Jack DeManio was a disc jockey for the BBC in the 60s, 70s. And he could never get anything right. He would give the wrong date, he would give the wrong time, he'd give the wrong weather, and everybody loved him for it.
I could just imagine.
Yeah, so we're a bit like that.
Yeah, we're a bit chaotic.
We are. Now, today is Friday, that I know. What's the date?
Today is the 22nd.
The 22nd. Wow, there we go. The 22nd of
September. That's what month we're in. September.
We had to think about it, but we got there.
Halloween's coming, so I'm excited.
Right, let's go back. The Daily Express. The paper says the surprisingly upbeat Chancellor has said that the tide is turning on the cost of living crisis. And Mr. Hunt says, the paper says tongue-in-cheek, if Mr. Hunt says so, then it must be true. They can be naughty, can't they, some of these newspaper people?
Who knows, maybe sometimes things may actually become affordable.
They may indeed, yeah.
That'll be incredible.
It's like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, just about £5 for a cup of coffee now.
Almost, isn't it? How much is it at your place? £3?
Large Americano is £3.20.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Almost £4.
Yeah.
For a bit of water and a bit of coffee.
Yes.
Oh,
well, you're going to pay your high salary.
Oh yeah, very high salary. I get paid to the millions for making coffee. Not that I'm looking for a new job or anything.
Well, let's see if we can create one here, shall we?
Yeah.
I must say that you're worth it. The Times reports that Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is drawing up plans to return
reform A-levels and introduce British.
Go on.
Baccalaureate.
Baccalaureate, right? It's a French word. Yeah.
Under which students would study more subjects after the stage of 16. A senior Tory source tells the paper The change would come from a critical part of Mr. Sunak's attempt to address the bigger long-term questions facing the country.
Right. Well, this is something that happens from time to time. Is we have a radical shake-up of the educational system. It does seem to me that this is probably not a bad thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that I do not understand is in the 1950s and 1960s, this country was the envy of the world for its apprenticeship schemes.
Yeah, our apprenticeship schemes used to be amazing.
And we abandoned them. We did away with them.
Yeah.
Everybody got to have book learning. Well, book learning doesn't.
It doesn't work for everybody.
Not for everybody. I hope that what he's not doing is he's not going to go back so that we abandon some of the good things that we have got going for us in this country.
Some of our top builders were apprenticeships. Gordon Ramsay, he is British, thank God. He learned from an apprenticeship, I believe.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Like how?
Now your husband is a chef, right?
Yes, he was a chef.
Did he take an apprenticeship?
He was learning through himself. He's currently, because we're waiting for an operation, then Glenborn took him under his wing, was like, look, there's the kitchen, do what you need to do. There's a job. Which we are so grateful that they gave him a chance.
Right.
Not many places are now. But yeah, after his operation, if it works, we are taking him to culinary school, and he's learning from the best in London.
Yeah, that's great.
So very happy and very, very excited to let him have this new chapter. And whether he's he'll have to obviously stay in London for a while because of the culinary school.
Yeah.
And I fully support him on that.
Absolutely.
If I need to go, let's say, and have an apprenticeship in London, imagine that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
terrific. That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some very good restaurants in London. I don't go to London very often now because I have difficulty walking, as you know. But I mean, I've spent a good 20 years in London, and I've been to some of the finest restaurants.
The culinary schools are the best of the best, and that's all I want for him. And
yeah, good for him.
He'll get there. He will. And I full on believe in him, and his cooking is outstanding. He teaches himself. Because he's really quick at learning new things.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll talk to him about it. We'll have him actually come and cook a meal on the air one day. Huh? You think? Yeah.
The steak and cheesy mash.
Right. Okay. There we are. We've got the menu going. So I'm sure one way or another we can get the way to do it, and we've certainly got the television stations. Yeah. Right.
I think he would enjoy that as well. He would be over the moon.
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm just going to double check to make sure that we are hooked up to the right internet.
Yep.
Yes, we are. So it looks as if we're all go this morning. So let's go back to the newspapers. Now, this next one, campaigners are likely to bring a legal challenge to try to block changes to the UK's net zero strategy. As you know, Sunak made an announcement earlier in the week that he was cutting back on the targets to go green because the cost to the average person was going to be huge. And of course, there are those people who believe that going green is so vitally important to the survival of the planet, it was bound to create some sort of controversy. But the question really is it fair that the average man, like you and I, not that you're a man, far from it,
skinny man,
is it fair that we should pick up the tab? And that's really what this boils down to, is who should pay for these changes. And government can only go so far, I guess. I mean, The only thing is, of course, is that there's a lot of controversy about how we spend our money.
Yeah.
For instance, we send off an awful lot of money, which a lot of people who would also support Greens would say, "Oh yes, we must send money to India," but India is busy paying for its own nuclear program and its own moonshot.
That's
So
really
should we be paying for that? Big debate.
Yeah. A lot of the time as well, the stuff where it's like electric cars and everything is actually killing the planet a lot more than what petrol and diesel are.
Really?
Because of the aluminium, I actually said it right there for once, and all the metals and all the gases and the battery acid, things like that, all together into this car. When that car gets scrapped, that's left there and it's like rotting right in. And yeah, it takes longer for that than what it does petrol and diesel. So actually, electric cars are killing the planet a lot more.
Right. Okay. Now you've taught me something I don't know. I suppose really the fact of the matter is that I don't drive a car anymore.
Yeah.
I would be a danger, and that's well, it's actually one of the manifestations of Parkinson's is that you fall over. So I take a little pill to make sure that I don't fall over. But I've only got to forget to take that and fall over in my car and kill somebody.
Yeah.
So, but instead, I try to kill people with my scooter.
Yeah. I was trying to run someone over today.
Yes, the two barristers, the two Bs who are coming on in about 20 minutes' time, is they spy on me out of their front windows and make sure that I don't actually beat up the town too much.
They're brand new lawyers.
So what's this headline and which paper is it? The Mail leads with a video in which Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer is seen discussing the future of the UK's relationship with the EU. In the footage shot during an on-stage event at a conference in Canada, Sir Keir Starmer tells an audience most of the conflict with the UK is being outside of the EU. And it arises insofar as the UK wants to change and do different things to the rest of European partners. Actually, we don't want to lose standards. We don't want to rip up environmental standards, working standards for people that work. There's a lot more common ground than you might think, the paper says. Tories have said the comments reveal a monstrous plan to reverse Brexit. Well, there are a lot of people that would actually applaud that.
Yeah, I mean, we did say "told you so," didn't we? Like,
the point really is, what really bothers me about these things is that, look, I've lived and worked in. Well, I've been to 60 countries, but I've lived and worked to one degree or another, sometimes years, sometimes just weeks, in 40 of those countries. And one of the things that is very difficult to come to grips with is that people do not understand what rule of law is.
Yeah.
You may not agree with the law, and you may work to change it, but you must follow the law and not undermine it. And that's really the thing that bothers me most about those people who would prefer not to have Brexit, is that they work to undermine it. Well, how the hell does anything work if it's under attack all the time?
I mean, Brexit, I like staying in the EU only for the fact that as young people we had that sustainability where let's say a few of my friends, colleagues, they've went to travel all around, and it's like that was easier for them to go to France and do this and that and the next thing. Yeah. It was so much easier for them, and it was respectable, and we got to learn in so many other countries. When I was was 15 or 16, I really, really wanted to study at the art school in Germany. And because we were EU members, I could have done that when I was older, and then I lost my passion for it, unfortunately. But that's what I really wanted to do when I was that age, and it was like there were so many more doors open towards us than what there is now, honestly. Like, leaving the EU, I think, was one of our worst mistakes.
Well, you see, I would counter that by saying, have you worked with the EU?
No, I've not.
Have you worked for the EU?
No.
Have you worked under the EU?
No, I was learning under the EU.
Have you worked at any projects sponsored by the EU?
Mm-hmm.
Right, well, I have done all those. I know where I stand.
Oh, God.
One of the things that I've never understood is the argument that, oh, well, but look, there are all these jobs.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I'm not going to name the country, but where I was closest to the EU is you walk into the front of the EU door and you find out who you're working with, and then they bring in their cousin, and then they bring in their uncle, and then they bring in their auntie, and then they bring in their father, and then they bring in their mother, all working for the same EU project.
Yeah, you don't really get a chance, and it's never, It's never good to work.
That sort of patronage and so on is to me, it's frightening.
Yeah,
because you then make it much easier. The more family members you pack in, it's easier to keep everybody out.
Yeah. It's better. It's easier to keep a secret like that.
Now, we got any more? Yes. The news that Rupert Murdoch is stepping down as chair of media companies, Fox and News Corp, and handing over control to his eldest son, Lachlan, leads the Financial Times. The paper says the 92-year-old, he's 92, has over the past 7 decades transformed an Adelaide newspaper he inherited from his father into a global media empire, and which is feared and courted by politicians across the English-speaking world, and calls the move the end of an era.
Wow.
Well, I would agree with that. He's a very powerful man. A very powerful man. He's rocked the establishment. That's for sure. I very briefly worked for a Murdoch organization.
Wow.
Stuart Dolby, who has worked for the Financial Times and worked for us, or worked with us, says one of his great realizations of an ambition is that he has never worked for Rupert Murdoch. So you see, it doesn't matter whether it's doing A or B or C or D. There's always. I'm just looking at the time. 8:28, is it?
Yeah, 8:30.
It's always a different view, and that's the beauty of our society.
Yeah.
We are able to have different views and debate. And if there was anything that upset me more than anything else about the vote on Brexit was families wouldn't talk to each other. Friends fell out.
Oh, no.
Now, how on earth could we get as a civilized community who understood democracy, debate, points of view, force ourselves into that situation? I thought that was very, very sad.
With me and my gran, obviously both of us, she taught me politics, and then every time I heard like an opinion and things like that and facts, that's me learning. That's me learning about someone else's view, and it helps with like being social and everything. And then when it came to David, I was watching when David Cameron stepped down, My gran got me up way too early in the morning for it, but I was watching it. It was the Scottish independence, I believe, and I was so excited. And I think it was a good half an hour before, I was up, ready for school, everything, and I was telling her, oh, like, this is another point of view, and this is another, and like, oh, this party said this and this, and she was amazed, and it's like, yeah, I was learning. She's like, you're a bit too bright for your age about politics, and it's like, I know, I loved it. But yeah, I loved learning. I still love learning other people's opinions. It's like I found out through a work friend about the electric cars and everything. I had no idea, and it's like that is so interesting to find out about and so intriguing. And it's like, how did they find this out? What sources? And can I find out more about this? What else is going on? And everything.
Yeah.
It makes us big.
It's a great learning opportunity.
Yes.
And I make the point is I'm not against us being members of the European Union. I'm against us being members of the European Union as it's presently constituted.
Yes.
Because it is presently an autocracy. It is not a democracy. It needs to be reformed
a little bit, and it needs to really look at itself from a third party's view, which I think, like, let the people be like, oh, but you're doing this. How about instead, like, good idea, like keeping like your son there, like that's very, very smart because he's such talented. But here's some other people that are very similar. These people can work on the thing, and then these people are very good for this project, so these people could work with this person, and it would be very easier. And it's like, oh, well, schools, they need this, they need that, they need the next thing. Okay, who's the best person to look out for this? And then look at it from a third party view. Like, we're not, whether in the EU or anything, we're working with the EU. Especially with the school things.
Yes, that's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, of course,
we don't have that.
Yeah. Well, you've always got people who want power.
Yeah.
And those people who are at the top of the EU most certainly do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the people at the top of the British politics aren't the same thing, but it's the EU needs reform.
Yeah.
And if you say the word reform to a politician, he thinks you're swearing at him.
Yeah, he really thinks like you're saying, oh, you're terrible at your job.
An 8-year-old girl has become the first UK transplant patient who will not need drugs for life to stop her body rejecting her new organs.
Wow.
This is in the Metro, the London paper. It says Aditi Shanaka's immune system was reprogrammed so that her body would accept a kidney donated by her mother as its own. The paper says the procedure offers hope to others in future.
Imagine that.
Absolutely. It's quite remarkable.
It would help so much with so many people, and that would have changed my grand's life forever. She passed away with liver failure. Everything was wrong with her. But imagine I could have donated, and it would have accepted straight away, and she wouldn't.
Yeah, you would have still had her with you. Yeah.
God love her.
Well, it's a real breakthrough, obviously.
Yeah,
and you're right. You see, you're sitting next to me, and we look at this story, and already I've met somebody whose life it would have affected. Mm-hmm. So it's obviously would have been widespread.
It's really, it will change other people's, and that's, as much as I will never get my grand back, God rest her soul, but it will stop someone else going through that pain.
Yeah.
That's. Imagine like lung failure. You can get a new lung, and it can be from someone, and they just take it straight away.
Yeah. The body will not reject it. It's fantastic.
I think that's what everyone's kind of been hoping for years and years on to come.
Now, this next story from the Star It's a disaster story.
Oh.
I really got to look you in the eye when I tell you this, because they are saying that it's possible, that we will stop producing spam.
Oh, thank God for that.
What?
I hate spam.
I was raised on it all throughout the war years. I even actually go and buy some from time to time from Waitrose.
My granddad buys it for stovies, and I hate it every time. I'm like, oh, well, thank goodness for that.
A spam sandwich that is nothing like a spam sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's nothing like it.
How are you on Marmite? Because we say that this station is like Marmite. Some people love it, some people hate it, but you never forget it.
Yeah. I mean, when Walker's Crisps produced the Marmite crisps and the Marmite flavour, I really liked them, but I think it's the texture of Marmite that I really hate. And it's,
yeah. I can't say that it's one of my great favourites. Spam is different. I love spam. But you know, it's what you get used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was, I think, about 13 or 14 before I found out that real coffee did not come out of a bottle, because during the war, you couldn't get coffee, because you had to import it, and the Germans were busy sinking all our ships. So we had something called camp coffee, which was chicory essence, and it was a liquid, and you poured it into the cup, and you added hot milk, and that was so-called coffee.
Wow.
And I think you can still get camp coffee, but people tell me that where it really is delicious is if you're making your own liqueur and you want to make your own what is. Let me take one step back. As you know, at the end of a very hard morning broadcasting, is we normally like to regroup for a short period of time anyway in what was used to be called the Farmer's Bar in this hotel for a drink. And I have a Bailey's, which I call cough medicine.
Yeah.
And so I have the cough medicine. But apparently, if you get a chicory essence camp coffee, it makes excellent whatever we call that stuff.
Espresso. Well, I was going to say it may have done like quite a good espresso martini, just like kind of Bailey's-ish.
Well, but it makes good Baileys. I don't know about the martini. That was my wife's favorite martini. Wow. Well, as a matter of fact, on 2 occasions for Christmas, I bought her a martini maker.
Oh, wow.
Shaken or stirred. You can have it either.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of mango passion fruit martinis. They're my favorite. Either that or I have Malibu rum and cola. Not allowed too many of them because I drink it like water, but that's not the point. Like, on my 18th birthday, so I was legal. My dad bought me 8 of them, I think, roughly. So 8 Malibu and colas. So I drank them like water, so that took me about 3 minutes. And then I had a cider after that. And then after my cider, we had some Prosecco. And then we had some champagne.
Were you still walking?
I was shouting everybody in Lewis. Like, anyone who went past, I was like, it's my birthday and I'm engaged. And if they didn't say, oh, happy birthday or congratulations, I was like, see you, don't leave. And then recently we found out that I made a huge indent into our hedge. So that night, this is for my fiance because I was completely blackout. I tried to jump the hedge like a horse, but I didn't do the physical jump. So it was like I went head first. It's like as if I was going to jump, but I never actually jumped. So I went like right into the hedge.
Oh dear.
My mother-in-law only found out this summer. And she's like, oh, so when's this hedge? Like, why is there a dent here? And I looked at Ash and he's like, Bethany did it. I was like, yeah. Like, figured that one out quite quickly.
Now, I'm looking here at the star. It's always the star that breaks these things. Shoppers are turning their backs on the trusty tins of meat. It says that tinned peaches and Bovril are also among the other products which are being rejected by shoppers. Now, I love tinned peaches. I always
Peaches
keep.
are really good,
The only thing is, that is somebody I see in the last couple of days has said that they are going to have a real go at the retailing habits of shops who use shopping crises and so on to do anything. Now, at Waitrose, for several years, I managed to get a small tin of peaches in syrup for 80p.
Wow, not
Right?
bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. 2 weeks ago, it went up to 120p.
Oh.
Now, nothing jumps that fast.
No.
So I think they're being naughty.
Yeah.
And I don't mind saying so when I have to. Right, okay.
I'll need to tell my mum and my granddad about the Bovril. They're, honestly, I don't understand it because I've only had it, I think, roughly once in my life. But yeah.
Oh, Bovril.
Yeah, like I've never really had it that often, but yeah, they're going to be gutted because my mum's always there and it's like, Dad, can I have a Bovril? And he's like, hey, it's right there. It's like, okay.
Now, there's been a lot of sport going on. Is Ash a sports person?
No, I'm more sporty than Ash. I used to do netball. I can't catch anything now for the life of me, but they don't believe yet that I've done netball. I was a goal shoot at netball, and I kind of grew up on football. Every weekend, before my granddad's accident, we used to play football every single weekend. Yeah, I was a big football girly. That grew out of me as soon as I was 11. But I still watch the football, and I've just realised that I'm very aggressive when it comes to football.
Well, actually, sport calls for aggression, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't realise that I was that competitive. And we were watching the Scotland-English game with my English in-laws. That didn't go well.
Oh.
They were more worried why I was like that. I was like, oh, you just can't do it. You're not making we don't freaking did it. And it's like, they were looking at me like, Bethany, it's a friendly game. It's not friendly. It's like, if I don't think it's friendly, it's not going to be friendly. But yeah, I'm a big Scotland. I don't too much support Scotland in football anymore. I'm mainly into Scotland's clubs. So my family is Rangers supporters or Celtic supporters. I'm on Rangers as always. But yeah, it's I've got a Rangers top, and it's I'll wear that sometimes out, and Ash looks at me and is like, you do realise you lost last night? I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm still wearing it. It's I can be a sulk if I want to be.
Yes. Well, that's the end of the review of the national papers.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything terribly magnificent locally, but
the iPhone 15 came out. That's something.
Oh, no. Okay. Come on, you tell us about that.
So there's the iPhone 15 and then there's the iPhone 15 Pro. I will get pictures up. They have just been released by Apple. They are, instead of the kind of glassy, this is my phone, I've got the Stitch phone case on. Instead of the glass back, it is now titanium, which is really interesting. and they don't have the flick for the silence anymore. You can actually command it to be like a flashlight or your camera, the mute button, emergency calls. You can just, it's just a little button that you just press and it does it. Like if you press it and it's your camera will pop up, which is amazing. It has got the A17 Pro game-changing chip, groundbreaking performance. So this is on the Pro. The next generation portraits. It has the longest optical zoom in on an iPhone ever. So it goes into 5x, so it's right in front of your face. It may as well be a camera, not a phone. It is amazing. It is now USB-C, not lightning cable, which is very interesting. So they're on the whole fast charging. The action button, which I was just on about, can track your favorites, so you can put it on to mute. The do not disturb, camera, flashlight, recording, translator, zoom in, your shortcuts, your accessibility. Your battery life can be up to 29 hours now.
Wow.
So massive improvement from Apple.
Indeed.
And in an emergency, iPhone has your back. Emergency SOS via satellite and crash detection will help you be on the grid if you press the SOS button. So if you're in any danger, they know exactly where you are now.
Wow. That would have been helpful at the time of the Titanic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and the internal structure frame of the iPhone 15 Pro has been 100% recycled aluminium. So they're not putting new aluminium into the planet. They're actually using it again, just like what the government should be doing.
Wow. You're pretty well informed on this.
All on the iPhone app. So it looks like it comes in the silver. I'll view these in AR when it loads. Okay, so it comes in the new silver, if you guys can see that. It comes into this new blue as well. It's like a darkish blue. It comes in your normal white, kind of goldish colour. And it also goes into black titanium as well. So it's still got the 3 cameras. It's a little bit longer on the nudge that you get at the top of your screen. That. It's a little bit longer, but it's shorter, and it shows you your notifications now, rather than it just being there, which is very, very helpful. It's longer battery life, faster charging. They're supporting MagSafe, which means it's like a magnet on your phone kind of thing, on your phone case, and then you can stick your wallet there. You can stick a battery pack there. You can stick anything on it, like with this phone case, and it's very. They've definitely came into this new generation of phones. I'm so excited.
I just had a conversation with Bethany, and I didn't understand a word that she said. God bless you. But there'll be lots of people out there who will say, "Hey, yeah, great advances," and so on. So they'll totally understand. As for me, as long as I can take the odd call, that's what I need.
The cost though is very pricey at the moment. Obviously, it's just out. It is £999.
Wow!
Yes.
Where do people find that sort of money? I suppose they buy it on the Never Never, don't they?
I am currently saving for a new iPad. I've got a very older generation. I've got the 6th generation iPad. So I'm getting a brand new one. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to treating myself. But I'm also wanting to save up for this new phone. So I'm going to just keep saving up for this iPad.
Right.
And then also save up for the phone. And who knows, I might even keep just saving up until I've got enough money and I can treat myself an Apple for a day.
Wow.
It's like, do you know, I don't need it. I'm just very excited about it. I was so excited. I'm definitely getting, because I've already got the blue iPhone 13, got the brand new blue phone. I am getting the white one. I've not had a white iPhone Pro before. I've not had an iPhone Pro in general, but I'm going to treat myself, hopefully. Christmas is coming, so it might be a very, very late Christmas present. But I'll just call it a 21st birthday present to myself.
Well, good for you. I must confess is that is some of these things just do seem to me to be vastly overpriced for what they are. But you would say, no, hang on, because they are so important to...
I like the fact that it's got a longer battery life, and with the SOS, it helps with my family a little bit more. So then they've got a peace of mind.
Right.
So if I was in any danger, obviously it's Lewis, it can be quite... Sometimes it can be dangerous, sometimes it can't be. It's a very lovely town in general.
Right.
But let's say if I have a seizure again, my granddad, because he's a part of my emergency contact list, and so is my husband, they will know exactly where I am. So it saves me and it helps me, and I think that's the thing.
What if you don't want them to know where you are? Okay, be prepared. Grab your and enjoy it out there today, because as Bethany said, at midday we've got some sunshine and it'll be 15 degrees. It will climb gently at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock to 17 degrees. Still much cooler than it's been lately. But then we start to accumulate some rain again in the afternoon, and it gets chillier as we get towards the evening.
Chilly in the morning.
Yes.
Yay! I'm thoroughly looking forward to it, because now I've got a chance to go to Brighton and get some cozy pajamas. Yes! Wait till the shopping spree with the husband.
Well, now, when you get your cozy pajamas, will you bring them in one morning and show us how cozy they are?
Give them a haul. Of course.
Modeling pajamas with Bethany.
There is new Teletubby onesies out. I'm very, very tempted, and I'm going to try and see if my bridesmaids can get some. So we're going to be the Teletubbies for a game night, and I cannot wait.
Oh, no, that's going to be innovative. A wedding in PJs.
Like for our hen night, I don't want to go out partying or anything. I've already explained to them that I want to do a fun games night and a movie night, because I don't really have that kind of girl time before.
Right.
So we're going to do massive game night. We're going to do maybe some games on the Xbox. We're going to do like Monopoly, so do like different bits and bobs games like Cluedo and everything.
Tell me I'm not going to get an invitation.
Absolutely. And then we're going to watch some movies and everything. We're going to watch some of my childhood movies too. That's been really important to me. So I'm very looking forward to it. And it looks like it might be actually sooner than later. Yay!
Right, now, in 10 minutes we're going to go to a couple of your great fans and people whom you like. They're the two B's. We'll take a very quick trip to the Potter's Wheel, down to the park, and then we'll be back with them at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Well, let's go to the Potter's Wheel.
Is it going to let us?
Well, now we're not. Yeah, microphone off for some reason. No, we have no idea where we are. It's letting us know that it's old. Indeed, it is. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll just say a tune clip